that students are allowed to call in to find out about their NSFAS applications and about money. But we do know that NSFAS in the past couple of years has faced a number of challenges, and we know that they've had a number of backlogs. We know that the Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Buti Manamela, has visited the office here this morning. He's had a meeting with the executive. He was on a walkabout here at the contact center. Just now he joins us to tell us more about what the meeting was about and just what are your views going forward with all the challenges that we've seen here at the scheme.
Essentially today, thank you very much. Essentially today was to find out how was the first day since the applications for new funding were opened yesterday, and secondly to also find out how the administrator is settling in his new office. And I'm quite upbeat and excited about the briefing I received yesterday. More than 50,000 people reached out in different ways and platforms to the NSFAS, and we really want to encourage students out there who are doing their grade 12 to apply for NSFAS using the NSFAS toll-free 08000 NSFAS and in various other platforms so that they get funding decisions. And secondly, we are also happy that the backlog of students is beginning to reduce. Of the 65,000 or more that were not settled, about 24,000 of those have now been paid. There are NSFAS officials who are deployed on our campuses as we speak, especially in University of Venda, University of Limpopo, UNISA, which has been experiencing even bigger challenges, Nelson Mandela University. You mentioned those where there has been hotspots. So there are officials there of the NSFAS who have been of quite good help in resolving those specific issues, and that's why we're seeing the numbers reduced. All that we want to see is students not worried about getting their allowances for books or travel or accommodation. We want them to focus on what's happening in the lecture hall, and we want them to pass. And that's why we're quite excited with the work that the administrator has been doing, and we really want to profusely apologize to those thousands of students who are yet to receive their allowances, and we hope that this intervention will, at least before the end of this month, see them getting those allowances in their pockets and then focus on passing for this academic year.
All these exciting views, Minister, we can't run away from that there are changes at the scheme. But we haven't seen problems with students only, but the scheme itself internally has been faced with a number of challenges. Is there assurance that students will not be affected with what is happening here internally?
Look, together with the Minister, we met with the trade union NHAU, and we've given them their assurances that the administration is more than capable to deal with some of the internal issues that we've seen. And in my walkabout today, all I've seen was smiles. The staff are quite happy with the change of attitude. They are being engaged on a weekly basis. They look forward to coming to work and to help students, with all the challenges that they're faced with. And we are also happy with the report that we are receiving that the administrator is able to deal with all of those issues that the unions have been raising about the internal weaknesses. From now moving forward, we hope that we've learned our lessons with the implementation of the new fee-free higher education, and that we'll take those lessons into the new academic year. And I think what's even more inspiring is the dedication of the NSFAS staff to go on the ground as opposed to being locked down in here, and to go and interact with students, to go and see those students who are hungry, who can't go to classes, who have not been able to write their test here, there and everywhere else, precisely because they have not been getting the service that is due to them from the NSFAS.
So usually, just before I let you go, Deputy Minister, the first half, when the year starts, we usually see protests right across the country at higher education institutions. Are you confident that we may not see this with all the changes that have been made here at the scheme?
look, based on my interaction today with the administrator and based on also the fact that we'll be continuously monitoring the situation, based also on the lessons that we've learned for 2018, I'm quite confident that if there are any protests on campus, there'll be very few, and those will also be dealt with as speedily as possible, because many of the funding decisions would have already taken place by the time institutions open. So gone are those days when we wait for the day when the universities open, that students only know then. By the time they get to the university, they'll be having a letter that shows that the NSFAS is funding them, and therefore there'll be no need for protest in the new academic year. And we're hoping that this will ensure that we improve with the results, and students, especially new students, are welcomed in a friendly campus without the fear and all of that of protests and so forth. So we're quite happy that we'll have a peaceful 2019 in our universities and TVET colleges.
Well, thank you very much for your time. That there was the Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Buti Manamela, who's come to visit the NSFAS offices here in Cape Town. Like he said, you'll remember that the online applications actually opened yesterday, and already they've received thousands of calls with eager students who want to make sure that they make it to these higher education institutions. Of course, we know that thousands of students across South Africa cannot afford to go to these institutions, but like the Deputy Minister has said, he said that he's expecting very few protests around the country or at these institutions for next year, because they've already dealt with the backlog so far. And as you can see behind me, administrators here are very busy taking those calls for those eager students. Well, with that, it's back to you guys in Johannesburg.
All right, thank you so much to our reporter there, Noma Wethu Solwande. Let's take this discussion further as